All right, here we go. This is going to be a look at Kevin Westerbeck, Kevin Molesterbeck, if you prefer. This has been one of the one of the most requested, one of the most requested by far Predator videos here. So this is going to be good. I did a quick look at this one beforehand. I just watched it briefly before I started doing this, and I was fucking cracking up. So, I think this is going to be a good one. So, it also helps that, I don't know, maybe, I'm a little bit hungover at the same time as well, so it might make it better or worse. I'm not sure which. And I'm also chugging coffee, so let's just go. This is gonna be good. I think as any kind of precursor, So let's just kind of get into it here. I think this is gonna be a good one. Kevin Westerbeck, the raw version, of course. When you hear that music, you know that something great is gonna happen. You just know that something is gonna happen when you hear that Predator Raw music. It's not just TCAP, it's Predator Raw. It's not To Catch a Predator, it's Predator Raw, the unseen tapes. It makes it sound pretty epic right there. I'm not gonna lie.
Come on in. I gotta finish getting changed, okay?
Huh?
I gotta finish getting changed, okay?
Well, I'll watch you.
Well, I'll watch you. I love this dude. Change for the Better, 2006. What a screen name that is, Because 2006, it can be argued, is the worst year of Kevin Westerbeck's life. It can at that point can be made. So, he came in, I imagine he came into the year with that screen name, okay, I want to be a better person. He had a bunch of other screen names too that he wanted, but he wanted to move on from his prior aliases and just focus on the future. Change for the Better, 2006. That's what I'm going to do. And then he goes and tries to rape one kid, and then he also raped another kid for real, and then also his niece. So that's not really changing for the better. And then there's also the silly picture of him with the bird on his head. I imagine he also probably got the bird to try and, say, hey, look at this. I'm not gonna focus on the kids anymore. I'm gonna focus on raising this bird. and he doesn't do it. It didn't work out, I guess. Whatever happened to that bird, by the way? I don't know if it ever came out in the calls to Kevin Molesterbeck. I don't know if it ever came out, what happened to the bird. But it's a big question there. You want to know, because those birds fucking live forever. So that thing is probably still alive, assuming that, someone has it somewhere. What happened to the bird? And then meanwhile, he comes in and he says, "Oh, I'll watch you." And then later he'll say, "I was never intending to have sex or anything." I don't know. Lesterbeck knows that he knows that he's gonna, when Chris comes out, he knows that he's going to be fucked. So he's just gonna try all the typical excuses and everything, but it really doesn't help when you come into the house and say, "Well, I'll watch you." That's fucked up, Molesterbeck. That is fucked up. But I don't know why Chris Hansen never doesn't bring that up either. He goes and says, he should have came out. The first thing he should have said when he came out should have been, "Why then did you ask if you wanted to watch her get dressed? You fucking pedo." That's what he should have said, but he doesn't. He doesn't say it. I always wondered, why Chris Hansen doesn't bring that up, sometimes. He doesn't really bring up what the Predators do beforehand. I don't know why. I guess the chat log is he's just so hammered into that chat log, and, he just wants to fucking, he's been prepping for minutes at this point to go and rip them for the chat log. They can't focus. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Let's go.
Just wait at the bar for a second. I gotta get on my...
Kevin Westerbeck walks in, and he's very short. And so
Jesus Christ, Chris. You should. We all can see that he's very short. You don't have to just put him on blast like that. But yeah, we got it. He's very short.
Talked to him, and I said, "Why don't you have a seat?" And he doesn't want to do it, but I said, "No, please." And so he jumps up on the bar stool.
Hey, and it's very unfortunate, actually. I do have the regular segment there, and I like the Chris's narration in the actual episode. he says he has trouble getting on the stool because he's under 5 feet tall. You know, it's very unnecessary voiceover right there by Hansen, but he goes for it anyway. And you know that this is a different time period. People didn't give a fuck about being, you know, as politically correct back then. So no one probably even batted an eye or anything about any of this. But, you know, it's just funny to me that Chris Hansen thought that was so important to add to the voiceover. He has trouble getting on the stool because he's under 5 feet tall. Let's keep going here.
How are you?
How are you
Do
doing?
me a favor and have a seat right over there on that stool, please.
Yeah.
He's like I just sat next to him at a sports bar or something. We're talking about, you know, a hockey game. And
Chris Hansen loves those typical excuses, you know, oh, he looks like the guy you would see at a sports bar, you know, talking hockey. You know, he's the type of guy that you would see at the dry cleaners, you know. It's just, I don't know, it's just Chris Hansen trying to sound relatable or anything, you know, because, you know, Chris Hansen at this time, I don't think he was spending much time in line at the dry cleaners. I don't think he was going to sports bars talking about hockey too much. But it's like so typical. Why is that what you go to, you know? He looks like the guy you would see at the sports bar, at line at the grocery store, you know? Like, okay, so what? I could go to anybody at the fucking bar or the grocery store. And if I looked at them and couldn't see them doing something like this, what the fuck? I can picture anybody doing this. You know, it's not all that surprising to me, but you know, I think it's just Chris Hansen trying to be relatable. I don't know.
And I said, what are you up to tonight?
Well, what? She asked me to come
And he's
over.
fucking chewing on, what are those, chips or like peanuts or something? What the fuck is that? It's definitely such a nervous reaction thing. There are many predators that do that. They go for the peanuts or the chips, whatever it is. I think Randall Walford went for a candy they had at the Texas thing. It's just such a nervous thing. He just comes in, grabs it. You know, he should have asked for some dip. Or some salsa or something, you know. Marvin, you know, so these guys sometimes ask for water. Marvin Lackhand was like, "Can I have some water, please?" But no, Kevin Westerbeck should have asked for salsa. Oh man.
Who asked you to come over exactly? Who asked you to come over?
Destiny?
Destiny.
And how did you meet Destiny?
Ooh.
How did you meet Destiny?
And you can just feel the irony, right, when he says that. How did you meet Destiny? This is your destiny, Kevin Westerbeck. You know, it's funny. I was going to save this for later, but I can just bring it up now. Give me a second. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I'm sure that many people have seen this, obviously, by now. This was big news in the TCAP community when it came out back in August, I think it was. Yeah, August. This was breaking news in the TCAP community. I mean, this is what passes as breaking news on the TCAP community. But yes, he was, you know, the funny thing about Kevin Westerbeck is at this point in time, he has a pretty good job. He's in finance. He's working in for the Army, or I believe it's the Army, doing budget analysis. That's got to be a good job, I imagine. You know, I mean, that's got to be a well-paying job. And now he met Destiny and went to prison for like 10 years, I believe it was. Yeah, pretty much 10 years. And now he's stocking shelves at Kroger. Oh, talk about a fall from grace, man. You know? But you know what? He is going to put, if he puts as much effort into stocking these shelves as he did to raping kids. Oh God, no! I'm not gonna. No, not really. But I'm sorry about that. But the obvious thing is, how is he reaching these top shelves? You know, I imagine he has to call, either has a step stool that he uses, okay, or he has to call like the 16-year-olds that work there and say, hey, can you help me reach the top shelf here? And they're like, yeah, fuck you, Westerbeck. Anyways, this is going off the rails here. We're only a minute, we're less than a minute in because I skipped the fucking intro. Let's just go.
On the computer, she said hi and stuff.
She said hi and stuff. And who? Do me a favor and just keep your hands out of your
No,
pockets.
fine.
Before
He goes and says, "Keep your hands out of your pockets," and then he puts them right back in immediately. He pulls like Chris Weaver, Kevin Smith.
before Westerbeck walked
That's pretty funny. I just noticed that. That's pretty funny.
into the house, we knew that he was to be in court 4 days later, to go before a judge and to be sentenced for doing the very same thing he was doing on this night. Now, Kevin, you've had some contact with the law before.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Tell me about that.
This child, there was a child, I forget what it is.
Child solicitation?
It's pretty bad. You know, he's going to prison for it next week, apparently, at the time, anyway. And he doesn't even remember the charge. I think that's just, in his words, just BS talk. But he's also being investigated, I believe at this time, he's being investigated for raping his niece, which if you've never heard the story, it's a really fucked up story. The short of it was that the niece, I guess, was staying at his house, sleeping over one night, and there's a thunderstorm, and she got scared and went into his room. You know how kids do that. And he fucking sexually assaulted her in the bed. Like, dude, that is fucked up. Like, I like to laugh. I love to laugh at these guys at the same time. But Westerbeck is an evil fucking person. He's a horrible person. And I'm glad that he got what was coming to him here. But, you know, he's a fucked up dude. I mean, I'm going to laugh at him. But, yes, he's completely fucked up. Let's continue.
They said I came out to meet some girl, I guess.
So let me get this straight. You were accused of doing the very same thing that you're out doing tonight.
I had no intention of this.
And, you know, it's funny because Chris Hansen is going to try to be like you are getting caught doing the same thing. And Westerbeck doesn't really give him much, you know. I don't know if Chris Hansen's it was a little bit underwhelming because Westerbeck just gives him these canned responses, you know, very monotone, unenthusiastic, you know. I had no intentions of this, you know. That's what he says. but it's like Chris is gonna keep hammering on it, like it's talking to him just like a stern parent, you know. You were accused of the very same thing, you know. It's like you want to smack him in the face, Chris Hansen, but you know, very, very fucking arrogant by Westerbeck here. He's not giving anything. He's not giving anything at all, and he just keeps going to those canned responses. I had no intentions of this, you know. Yeah, I'm sure of it.
For a minute. You pleaded guilty to solicitation of a minor for sex.
It was a plea.
It was a plea.
It was a plea.
You pleaded guilty.
Correct.
And you got sentenced for that plea, correct?
That's correct.
That's right. Next. That's what it is from the chat log. Oh man, you know, I really should have. I don't know. I should have looked at the original segment. But yes, in the chat log it says for it. I go to jail for it. For 11 months, and the fucking narrator reads it. And that was always so ridiculous. They skip over typos all the time on the narrator, but the narrator decided to read for it for 11 months. Well, I gotta pull it up. Give me a second. So, disappointment. I thought I had both the Raw and the original segment saved, but I guess I don't. I couldn't find it. I could go back through the episode and look for it, but honestly, you guys know. He says in the chat log, for it, and the fucking narrator reads it that way, and it's really comical to me. I find it very funny. But, anyways, it's not super important, so let's just keep going here.
11 months.
Correct.
In fact, next week, on Thursday, you have to go to court.
Correct.
And they're going to decide whether or not you're going to become a registered sex offender.
Yes.
And then you're going to go to prison.
Correct.
What then are you doing in this house? Less than a week before you're supposed to be in court and go to prison for doing the very same thing.
Stupidity, because I didn't expect this to be like that.
So what, it's my fault?
So I think Westerbeck. Ooh, look at that face. Ooh, he looks so sad. He looks so scared right there. He's petrified, you know. Oh man. But anyways, so I think what he's trying to say there is like stupidity because I wasn't expecting anybody else to be here. I was just coming to say hi, and now I'm going to be exposed as a predator. I had no intentions of having sex, but you're going to make it look that way. That's what he's saying in his opinion right here, in his view. That's what he's saying. I don't know about that, Westerbeck. I don't know about that.
No, it's not your fault. I'm not saying that.
He told me at first he was just there to talk to the girl, to hang out. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? It's a question!
Challenging me as to why I would question him. And then I start to read from the chat log.
Yeah, seriously, I don't know. Does Westerbeck not know that they have the chat log, that you've read it? And here you can see, I mean, Chris is going through it. Hanson's going through it right here. And Westerbeck's got his hand on his face. He's like, ooh, oh man, he's gonna be in some deep shit here.
She says, I like kissing. You say, would you get naked? I just don't want to get cold, she said.
And you can see him, like, he's shaking, man. He is shaking. You're fucked.
You say, have sex?
Have sex?
Now, a moment ago, you told me this wasn't a sexually oriented conversation. That was a lie, too, wasn't it?
I was just talking.
Just talking.
Just talking.
And
Yeah, he pulls out like all the classic excuses here. You know, he really does. He really pulls out all the classics. You know, oh, I was just coming to meet a friend. You know, I was just talking. What's wrong with that? You know, he brings out all the excuses, and it's like he very, very, very generic. You know, his excuses. You know, we needed like a JPW-esque story from Westerbeck. You know, that would make him more memorable, in my opinion. I don't think Westerbeck's a great Predator in terms of the overall Predator rankings. I don't think he is one. But, you know, if he would have given a JPWS story, I think he would be probably in the top tier. But, yeah, I consider him, I think, B or C tier. I think that's where I put him in my list. I don't know. I don't even remember.
little by little, his story starts to fall apart.
It would be fun, then, okay?
Oh, yes, here we go.
You say, then I'm big. She says, really? Yeah, how? Then you give the dimension of your penis. That's not sexual?
Just BS talk.
Just BS talk.
I love it. This is just BS talk. One of my absolute favorite lines from TCAP. One of my all-time favorites is just BS talk. Oh man, from the first time I saw this too, I always thought it was weird. Just BS talk. Just BS talk. Always was funny to me. Always was funny to me. I love it. Oh man, it's great. It's great. It makes up for the whole segment, you know. It really does. It really makes the whole segment for me. Just BS talk. And now, that BS talk got you sentenced to prison.
To me it was.
Okay, so that BS talk got you sentenced to prison once already. And less than a week before you were supposed to...
That BS talk got you... I walk around. That's one of those lines that is in my daily, you know, rotation. You know, I'll run around my house. Jesus Christ. Yelling that, you know. Just BS talk. Okay, well, that BS talk got you sentenced to prison. Once already. You know, I love it. I love that line. Love it.
Go to court and prison. You are here in this house trying to meet a 13-year-old girl home alone.
Uh-oh. Say
I'm
something.
stupid. I'm weak.
I'm weak.
It's just this.
He knows that he's fucked. He knows that he's fucked, but he's gonna come back with another line right here. It's fucking great.
I have no intentions of having sex with her.
Again, he just comes up with the he's like he knows that he's so guilty that he's under a rock, according to Justin McFetridge. That's what he would say. Westerbeck, he just comes back. I have no intentions of having sex with her, you know. After he stumbles through it for like 10 seconds, he's like silent for 5 seconds, and then he comes back with, I have no intentions of having sex.
How can you say that?
That's what it says, but I didn't.
Why should I believe that?
Why should I believe that?
Because I'm telling you the truth.
You didn't tell me.
I love that too. He just goes, I'm telling you the truth. As if Like, yeah. Oh, yeah, you seem like a trustworthy fellow. You know, you only raped one kid in the past, or two kids in the past. Jesus, you only raped two kids in the past. But we'll take your word for it that you know you didn't do this. Like, you wouldn't do this a third time. You know, as he's gonna say to the interrogator, he learned his lesson the first time. So he obviously wasn't gonna do it again. He's a trustworthy guy. You know, he's a trustworthy person. Oh, man, I'm telling you the truth. I think that's ridiculous. I think your story's a piece of shit. I think that's what it is.
The truth, when you answered the first 6 questions I asked, you lied then.
No, I didn't plan on having sex.
Well, come on.
And you can tell that he doesn't want to... He's, like, so sick of saying that, you know? He's so sick of that being his excuse. He's so sick of... so sick, as Christopher Cannon said. That is so sick. He is so sick of... so sick of, you know, going to that excuse, but he has to stick with it. He has to stick with that excuse. He has to stick with that story. I mean, I don't know. It's a bold choice.
What did you plan on doing?
I'm just gonna plan on meeting her, say hi, how you doing, and that's
How
it.
you doing? And that's it.
And that's it.
So less than a week before you're supposed to go to court, where you're probably going to be designated a registered sex offender,
Yes.
and then you're going to go to prison.
That's correct.
For 11 months.
You've gone through this already, Hanson. It's like the third time you brought it up. Fucking move on already.
After pleading guilty to solicitation of a child for sex, you just figured, I'm just going to pop in and have a nice little conversation with a 13-year-old girl. That's your story?
That is my story, sir.
I think that's ridiculous. I think your story's a piece of shit.
During one of these investigations, that 2 or 3 guys show up at the same time, and of course that was the case with Kevin Westerbeck. They're whispering to me that
They're like,
you know,
shit,
there's
we have to wrap this up.
predator about to walk in. I was just finishing with Kevin Westerbeck, but I didn't want to rush through it because it was an important interview. So I finished just in time. Westerbeck leaves through one door.
There's a sexual joke that can be made about that. I'm not going to say it, though. But I forget, I forget who this is coming in here. I watched the episode recently. I forgot who the hell this was, though. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's annoying me, too. Hopefully somebody in the comments will know.
Comes in the other door.
Sheriff's Department.
Sheriff's Department. Just BS talk. He should have been... Because I'm thinking about that fucking video that I made. That stupid-ass video that I made. Yeah, all I'm doing is just thinking about that stupid video that I made. Where it's just him giving the same excuse over and over. He gets arrested.
Just BS talk.
That still makes me laugh, I must admit. Oops. Alright, let's just continue here. Hey, you got that's right. You got the fucking Chicago Bears super fan here doing the interrogation. Dude, he's got I think he's got the Chicago Bears hat on. I don't think he has the Chicago Bears, sweatshirt on or whatever the hell it was. But the fucking Chicago Bears super fan. I love this guy.
The sheriff's office would take the handcuffs off and everything like that. Not one for the road.
No.
You understand what I mean by
I know
that?
exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. That was not my intent. I learned my lesson the first time.
Obviously not. Right?
I love these Ohio interrogators, man. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about being professional. I mean, rightfully so, because he's been sitting there doing nothing but lying the entire time. But he just goes, obviously not. Like, just straight up, obviously not. And I love it, too. In the Brinkman one, they're all very, very... They just hate liars, and they hate that they have to sit here and talk to shitheads like this. It would get annoying to me after a while. Obviously, I don't remember if this was before or after this interrogator talked to Jay Refner. But if I ever had to talk to Jay Refner, I would be in a bad mood for the rest of the day, too. I won't lie about that.
Obviously not.
Well, I wasn't coming
You're
in
chatting
for
with the 13-year-old female about your penis size on the internet, and you drove about, an hour and a half to get here to meet a 13-year-old female in the middle of the night who you knew by looking at the chats her parents weren't home. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
When the judge in the first case...
Oh, yeah, so we get the
hears that he's been
nice bonus footage here. I love this, too.
arrested again, for doing the same thing, he's, classified as a sex offender.
I am required
Look
in
at
this
this
hearing to
fucking
make
guy.
a determination as to whether or not I believe, based upon the facts presented, the defendant will
Fuck
commit
you. Oh, I love this guy too. Fucking fat Bill Clinton or Jay Leno. I don't know I don't know which one he looks more like. But I love this guy too. What do you think this lawyer's reaction was when he found out that Westerbeck got arrested again? Do you think he's like, "Damn it, Kevin, that's really gonna fuck up our chances in court on Tuesday, you know? You fucking asshole." You know? Do you think that's what he was? What do you think his reaction was? I love this guy right here. I love him. I'd love to know what his name is. But just look at him. He does not look like a lawyer, you know. He does not look like someone I would trust as a lawyer. I don't know why, but he just doesn't look good. I don't know.
future sex offenses. In
I
this
love
case,
that. He goes.
the
hang on.
defendant
What
will
play again?
commit future sex offenses.
Will commit future sex offenses, and he goes and like scrambles for a paper. like, hang on, I got damning evidence that suggests no. It's like his favorite. It's like the ultimate fantasy for a lawyer. You know, they storm into a trial. Hang on, I got extra evidence here that's going to completely clear my client here. You know, but he's just scrambling through papers, just trying to look busy. He's just going through papers trying to look busy, like, oh, I got you, Kevin. I got you. Hey, watch this. And it's just a fucking picture of his ass or something. I don't know. What the fuck? This is off the rails, man. Let's just go.
In this case,
let's
you
fish
made
it
it very
out.
clear, Mr. Westerbeck, as to whether or not you'll commit future offenses. This court will make a finding, and I make this finding beyond a reasonable doubt, that you are likely to commit future crimes based upon the evidence before the court today. With that determination, the court will make a finding that you are a sexual predator.
That is a. So I guess this was before. I don't know when he got convicted of the other one for raping his niece. I don't know when that was, but apparently it was after this. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to make this finding beyond a reasonable doubt that you are a sexual predator. Ooh, those are words that no one wants to hear, but when it comes to Kevin Westerbeck, I don't mind hearing them. So we got some bonus footage here. I mean, I guess I was going to save this for later, but it's all good. But because I got something else, too. I love the bonus footage at the end of this. He's got a fucking Ren and Stimpy tattoo. What the fuck? On his ankle. What a fucking place to put it. Too. Oh man, and then right here there's the footage. There it is. There's the famous picture of him with the bird on his head. Ooh, what is this? Oh my god. Toddle, make your way onto the field of battle. Well, I'll watch you. Oh, I love that. That is great. But yeah, he's got the fucking red and... Oh, what is this? Oh my god. Oh my god. What is this here? I don't know who this is referring to. But damn, I gotta read this thread. I'm gonna put that in a new tab. I'm gonna read that later. I don't think I've seen that one. But yeah, he's got the fucking Ren and Stimpy tattoo on his ankle or whatever, is fucking a little bit above his ankle. And I imagine he got, I don't know, I like to think that he got that as a way to, you know, relate to the kids that he was raping. You know, hey, I'm a cool guy. I got a Ren and Stimpy tattoo. But then, like, that's only relevant for a couple of years. Because I don't know, that show definitely wasn't on by 2006. I mean, maybe it was on the late night television. It wasn't on Nickelodeon in 2006. So, it's just weird. I mean, maybe he's just a really big fan. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I would never get that tattooed. But yeah, it's like, it makes him more relatable to the kids back in like 96 as opposed to 2006. You gotta get a SpongeBob tattoo next on the other ankle. All right, I think that's it. Did I do this one justice? This was one of the more requested ones, so I hope I did it justice. Kevin Westerbeck. That'll do it. So, until next time, I'll see you guys later.